Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2011 Doctoral Commencement Ceremony for the University of Southern California Rossier School of Education. Our procession today includes the Dean, Associate Deans, faculty, Board of Counselors, and this year's graduates of the Rossier School. The procession will now begin. Please remain seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please join in welcoming to the podium Dean Karen Symms Gallagher.
So good afternoon and welcome to all of you. On behalf of the faculty and all of us associated with the Rossier School of Education, I offer sincere congratulations and best wishes to the class of 2011. At this time, I would like to welcome members of our school's Board of Counselors. And I would like to ask the members of the Board of Counselors to stand and be recognized when I call your name. And I'd like the members of the audience to hold your applause until all members have been recognized. So, the members of our Board of Counselors who are here today, USC Trustee Verna Dautrieve, USC Trustee Barbara Rossier and her husband Roger, Board of Counselors Chairman Ira W. Krensky, Board of Counselors Vice Chair and President of the USC Alumni Association Carol Fox, Margaret Chichester, Gregory Franklin, Don Lacey, Brent Noyes, and Steve Poisner, members of the Board of Counselors. Today we acknowledge the successful completion of the PhD and EDD degrees for the class of 2011. Your completion of a doctoral degree from the Rossier School of Education is an extraordinary achievement. You join a very select group of men and women in the United States. Fewer than 1% of the adult population has a doctorate. That means a PhD or an MD or any other professional doctorate. This places you in an elite category of educational leaders, and it reflects on your intellectual rigor, your commitment to high standards and hard work, and your perseverance. It also means that you can play a pivotal role in redesigning the field of education for decades to come, whether that role is as a scholar, an academic leader, a policymaker, or an educational administrator. You join a distinguished roster of USC School of Education doctoral alumni. It is remarkable to note that the very first PhD that the University of Southern California ever granted was in the field of education. This went to D. Welty Lefevre in 1927. Dr. Lefevre went on to become a university faculty member for many years. The School of Education was approved to grant the EDD in 1928, and in 1931, two men, George Henry Bell and Vern Ralph Ross, were the first recipients of the Doctorate of Education. Now let's consider the similarities between and differences between Cohort 1 and 80 years later today. Bell and Ross finished in 3 years. 84% of this cohort finished in 3 years. Yes. 100% of our first cohort were white males. Today, 35% of the cohort are males. And we've been recognized for several years as awarding doctorates to the most racially and ethnically diverse pool of recipients of any other research university in the United States. Last, Bell and Ross went on to have exemplary careers as school leaders in California. Now, for you here today, we won't know of your career heights for a while. But in fact, in large numbers, our EDD graduates have gone on to administer complex urban school districts, to advise presidents and policy leaders on educational issues, and to lead colleges and universities around the world. Our Rossier PhD graduates are engaged in research in the field of education, from K-12 leadership to higher ed policy, to alternative schools, to greater successes in traditional ones. They are professors in colleges and universities throughout the United States and the world. This legacy of accomplishment sets a standard for you today. For us, this legacy means a commitment to constantly strengthening, expanding, and improving our doctoral programs. That is one reason why we are engaged in a third-party evaluation of our education doctorate. Within the coming year, many of you will be called upon to share your experiences at the USC Rossier and your subsequent accomplishments with this evaluation firm. Thank you in advance for taking the time to do that. I know you will all agree that your success and achievement today are due in no small part to the exceptional Rossier faculty. Not only are they individuals whose research and scholarship are world-renowned, but they are people who have truly cared about your success. They have guided, mentored, counseled, and consoled you throughout this challenging time, and I know I speak for you in thanking them collectively. As you move forward into the next phase of your career, I urge you to stay connected with us. There are many ways to do that. Please give back to USC and to the Rossier School by sending us prospective students, by hiring subsequent graduates from our programs, and by giving of your time and knowledge as mentors or adjunct faculty. I would also encourage you to become donors and invest in the future of USC, the Rossier School of Education, and those who will follow in your footsteps. All of us at the Rossier School will watch with pride as you move forward into your degree. And remember, make a promise to yourself to tell us of your future accomplishments. Again, on behalf of your Trojan family, I congratulate all of you. So today's ceremony is very rich in tradition. To provide an explanation of the proud and distinguished custom of hooding doctoral candidates, it is my pleasure to introduce Professor Emeritus Dr. Stuart Gothold.
Fellow Trojans, as you march in academic procession on Commencement Day, you wear the caps and gowns of a long tradition. For a moment, you are wearing an ancient regalia, the proud badge of belonging to a great profession, that of student. This costume has emerged from centuries of tradition in Great Britain, where each university adopted its own costume without regard to what other institutions had done. In 1895, American institutions created the Intercollegiate Code, regulating the design or patterns of gowns and hoods and the colors to be used. This code remains substantially intact today. And for this, I need a volunteer. Young lady, would you mind standing and facing your colleagues? Caps. Typically, the Oxford or mortarboard cap is worn. A recent exception is the wearing of a soft cap. Only the doctor's cap may be made of velvet. The tassel is black at USC for bachelor's and master's degrees. Doctors and governing officials only may wear a tassel of gold metallic thread. It is customary to leave the tassel draped over the left temple at all times. The left temple at all times. Gowns. There are three types of gowns. Those for bachelors are black and have long pointed sleeves and is worn closed. The master's gown, also black, is made with an oblong sleeve open at the wrist. The doctor's gown is an elaborate costume marked by velvet panels down the front and around the neck, as well as by 3 bars of the same material on the bell-shaped sleeves. Nice work. It is cut much fuller than the other gowns and, unlike them, may be ornamented in color. USC is among a handful of universities which permit other than black doctoral gowns. Our gown was designed for the inauguration of President James H. Zumberg in 1981. Hoods. Of all of the components of the costume, the hood is the most symbolic. It makes clear the level of the degree, the faculty in which it was granted, and the institution which awarded it. The level of the degree is shown by the size of the hood, the width of the velvet trimming, and in the case of the doctors, by the shape. Your hoods are lined with the cardinal and gold USC school colors. The velvet trimming of royal blue signifies the PhD degree. The trimming of light blue signifies the EDD degree. Your academic regalia is not merely costume. It represents an unbroken chain uniting students and scholars since the time of the Middle Ages. And thank you very much to our model. A couple of other symbols. The heraldic flag. Flag has been designated for each academic unit which confers degrees at USC. You'll see all of them come right down this way tomorrow. It's carried by a student at commencement. The Rossier School of Education's banner includes the academic color of light blue. The four quadrants of the flag are adorned by two panels showing the book, illuminated by the lamp of learning, the traditional symbol of education. The third panel is occupied by the sun, with alternating straight rays symbolizing light, and wavy rays symbolizing warmth and affection extended by USC to its student and community. The fourth panel includes a torch of learning, a clear and honorable symbol of the higher learning. And finally, the university seal, which will be on your diploma, your diploma. Dating to 1955, the seal depicts three torches: arts, sciences, and philosophy, the California poppy, the university flower, and a setting sun, symbolizing the vitality of the West. In heraldic language, the torches are symbolic of learning, the sun is the symbol of power and life, and the poppy is the symbol of growth. The university motto, translated from Latin, is, quote, "Let him bear the palm who merits it." And finally, in answer to a question often asked by my students in class, quote, "Will you make a copy of that so we don't have to take notes?" The answer is, all of this will be in your commencement program tomorrow morning. Go forth and celebrate the day. Fight on.
Thank you, Dr. Gothold. It really is important to understand the ceremony and the traditions that are really part of this important day for you. USC School of Education doctoral candidates, please follow the directions of the ushers as we now proceed with the hooding and the conferral of your degrees. The PhD degree recipients will be first, followed by the EDD. Each candidate will be hooded by his or her dissertation chair, in alphabetical order by the chair's last name, and your program has the order of presentation. Candidates' names will be announced by Dr. Melora Sunt, our Associate Dean of Academic Programs. Where is she?
I am proud to present these candidates for hooding and awarding of their degrees. Catherine Moulton. Elizabeth Annette Butler. Cecile Sam. Lisa Deanne Garcia. Jorge Alberto Marquez. Samoan Seasen. Jorge Luis Torres. Angela Deneen Brathwaite. Jennifer Debaka Sandoval. Monique Daki. Krishna Smith Ridgel. Sarah Elizabeth Neiman. Frank Nicholas Stephanie. I neglected to announce the names of the dissertation chairs for the earlier candidates, and I apologize. I will start doing that now. The next candidates coming up were under the guidance of Dr. Ruth Chung. Wenli Jen. Hyang Helen Chung. Latanya Renee Durbany. Jonathan David Revanshanis. Omar Montejano. Eric Lara. The next set of candidates were under the guidance of Dr. Rudy Crew. Michael Alexander Seelig. Al-Noel Rendon Rabanera. Lauren Deborah Cohen. Kenneth Chris Hurst. Ivan Iro. The following candidates were under the direction of Dr. Pedro Garcia. Nisha Bekta Dugal. Lorraine Mora Perez. Stephen Korb Schur. Eric Thomas Elward. Alfonso Clifton Webb II. Eduardo Morales. The next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Stuart Gothold. Ricardo Jose Vigil. Paula Gabriela Angulo Landetta. Rosemary Wood. Ali Bach. Mary Marderosian. Narek Marderosian Kasabian. Catherine Diana Estevez. The following candidates were under the direction of Dr. Gib Henschke. Sarah Joy Peterson. Kamala Harmony Dexter. David H. Bolton. Angelica Wright Garcia. Kaleem Tennille Ann Rayburn. Cheryl Dignadise Makarajig. Timothy Charles Besselo. Julie Elizabeth Nolner. Angelica Maria Flores. Sergei Orlov. Joe Ben Whittenberg. Nicholas Peter Gorman. The next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Kim Hirabayashi. Natalie Taloma Medina. Marina G. Hamilton. And the next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Dennis Hosevar. Evelyn Felina Castillo. Neri Jocelyn Arrivillaga. The next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Sandra Kaplan. Michelle Annette Ogden. Michelle So McGuire. Kendra Holleran Dobrin. Christina Marie Murata Garcia. Robert Carl Grubb. Danielle Marie Alphen. Allison Michelle Nordyke. The following candidates were under the guidance of Dr. Adriana Kizar. Rocky Lewis DeMark. And the next candidates were under the direction of Dr. David Marsh. Rosemary Santos Aguilar. Ashley Benjamin. Dawn Marie Cassidy. Deborah L. Hill. Zim La Huang. Danny Young Kim. Eric Robert Medrano. Shannon Tien Powers. Regina de la Cruz Zerbano. Amir Whitaker. The following candidates were under the direction of Dr. Larry Pikus. Kate Garfinkel. Michael Thomas Collins. William David Britton Dowdy. Emma Elizabeth Druitt. Gloria Elaine Duncan. James Michael Elasser, Jr. Cynthia Patron Guerrero. Christopher Michael Gutierrez Lorman. Mark Stephen Johnson. Martin Karamian. Brian Anthony Landisi. Hyacinth Dewilla Martinez. Stephen Christopher McLaughlin. Monica Kiyono Morita. Nathan Nelson. Ramona K. Patrick. Andrew Philip Pulver. Martha Ramirez Stemke. The next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Gigi Ragusa. Nancy Sammy Girgis. Julia Elizabeth Johnson. The next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Mark Robison and Dr. Mike Diamond. Sabrina H. Chung. Elizabeth Jean Jordan. Crystal Lovatier. Nadine Singh. The next candidate was under the direction of Dr. Pat Toby. Elizabeth Suzanne Peisner. The following candidates were under the direction of Dr. Sylvia Rousseau. Chantel Lachey Anthony. Artis Marie Callahan. Gerald Lee Mitchell, Jr. Allison Noel Reef. Richard Wayne Saunders. Savina Monique Woodyard. The next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Robert Rueda. Cuauhtemoc Rafael Avila. Morita de la Torre Rubalcava. Gilda P. Dixon. Dale Allen Fulkins. Brent Allen Forsey. Mona Lisa Contreras Hassan. Mary Abigail Requejo Laihi. Lisette Wendy Molina Solis. These next candidates were under the direction of Dr. Kathy Stowe. Hazel Michelle Justo Morales. Leila Ramos Gabriel. Vicky Francine Herai. Shannon Robin Manista. Rochelle Ariadne Minix. Vishodana Thamontharan. I'd now like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Dominic Brewer, Associate Dean of Research and Faculty Affairs, who will finish reading the names and then introduce the 2011 Dissertation Awards.
So the following candidates were under the direction of Dr. Sant. Ignacio Vincent Flores. Carolina Castillo. Nan Chiang. And the following candidate was under the direction of Dr. Tracy Tambaskia. Monica Demko. Where's Tracy? Following candidate was under the direction of Dr. Kristen Venegas. Sheila Marie Sanchez. And last, but by no means least, under the direction of Dr. Penny Woolstetter, Lupe Herrera Simpson.
Chet.
Congratulations to all the graduates of the class of 2011. So now it is my great honor to present our Best Dissertation Award winners. And every year the faculty selects one EDD and one PhD dissertation for special recognition. As you look back at the long path that's brought you to graduation today, I suspect that for many of you, the dissertation is what caused you the most fear, self-doubt, and frustration. One of my own students emailed me last year to say that writing her dissertation was a pain. The whole process reminded me of my pregnancy, especially my delivery. Painful, grueling, and finally relieving. Another of my students from the Hawaii cohort wrote in his acknowledgments, "In traditional times, the Pailolo Channel was traveled for many reasons, for adventure and for war. That sums up the effort that was put into this dissertation. At the onset, it was an adventure in learning. It was so exciting. But towards the end, it was like war. The adventure had worn out, and it was difficult to see this project to completion." As you know, we work very hard at the Rossier School to get you to finish your dissertation. So let me take a brief moment to thank everyone that contributed to getting you there. This starts with the faculty, and particularly your committee chair, the one that pushed, prod, and pulled you through the process. Jessica, Nadine, Rocky, Melissa in the EDD office did incredible work to keep you on track. And Ilda, Linda, and Goche at the Doctoral Support Center helped you with that writing. And of course, you would not be here today without the support of your spouses, partners, family, and friends. the ones that suffered through all those nights and weekends where you locked yourself away, so please give them a good hand. I had one final word before presenting the awards. Today marks the last day as a regular faculty member for our colleague, Dr. David Marsh. David joined Rossier in 1975. That's 36 years ago. And he's been instrumental in the development and refinement of our EDD. As you saw, he hooded another 10 students today. And we only have records going back to 1989, but since then he's chaired 113 dissertations. So I just wanted to acknowledge him especially. So now, on behalf of the faculty, I'm delighted to present this year's awards. Both award winners are members of last year's class of 2010, and their dissertations were filed and evaluated following their graduation last year. Our PhD dissertation of the year is presented to Dr. Jun An for his dissertation titled The Influence of Social Networking Sites on High School Students' Social and Academic Development. I had the pleasure of chairing Jun's dissertation, and I want to congratulate him. I'm sure that picture will be up on Facebook very shortly. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Our EDD Dissertation of the Year award is presented to Dr. Sumen Pendakur for her dissertation, The Search for Transformative Agents, the Counter-Institutional Position, and to present her award is her committee chair, Dr. Ray Barker.
Let me say I'm very fortunate that she chose me to be her chair. Thank you.
Congratulations to our winners and to all of you on completion of your dissertations. Now, to offer his own congratulations, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Darnell Cole, chair of our PhD Governance Committee.
Good afternoon. I was told that I have 2 minutes. I think the word got out that I'm pretty long-winded. First, let me say congratulations. This marks the most significant academic achievement in your life. You should take time out to reflect on it, take time out to thank those who helped make it possible, and to revel in your success. Then get down to business. I'm going to leave you with a couple other heavy thoughts as you kind of reflect on that. But first, I'd like to start out with a quote. On March 18th of 2008, President Barack Obama stated, and I quote, "I believe deeply that we cannot solve the challenges of our times unless we solve them together, unless we perfect our union by understanding that we have different stories, but we hold common hopes, that we may not look the same, we may not have come from the same places, but we all want to move in the same direction. That direction is toward a better society for our children and grandchildren. These beliefs are my unyielding faith in the decency and generosity of the American people. But it also comes from my own American story," end quote. Much like President Obama, my belief in solving the challenges of today's times together as a group comes from my American story as well as your American story. We do not look the same. We have different stories. We have different places from which we hail, but we are all moving toward a better future, one of hope and one of a better tomorrow for all of our children. In working toward this better future, the question is not whether we can afford to invest in every child. It is whether we can afford not to. Me, you, all of us have to invest in every child, every college student, regardless of whether they look like us, they come from the same place as us, or have the same stories of us. In our hope for a better future, you have to keep in mind that we are all the beneficiaries of dreamers and hopefuls, people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Mother Teresa, and the list goes on. Some of us would not be here today if it were not for those hopefuls, for those dreamers. Look to the people next to you. I mean, look. You are today's dreamers, today's hopefuls. With your degree in hand, as you look forward to future endeavors, do not forget Rossier's School of Education's commitment to urban ed. In your positions of leadership, do not forget that the responsibility of shaping the future is in your hands. Do not forget to be courageous in creating meaningful, diverse, safe learning environments for every single kid, every single child, every single person, all the time. Most importantly, remember your American story and let it revitalize your commitment to urban education. You chose this field because you wanted to be a change agent. So let your hopes and your dreams guide you so that the next generation and the generation to come will have and will see a brighter tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cole. I would now like to introduce the chair of our EDD Governance Committee, the Stephen H. Crocker Professor of Education, Dr. Robert Rueda.
Good afternoon. I'm going to make this very brief. I was a little worried when I saw Darnell carrying his speech in a big folder, but I guess he thought better of it. I'm up here not because of good looks, but because I chair the faculty committee that oversees the governance of the doctoral program. And as part of our duties, we oversee all the policy, the curriculum, the development of the entire direction of the program. We've thought a lot of time and spent a lot of effort over several years trying to define what it means to be a scholar practitioner. And I'm really confident, I think that we have it right, and I think that you guys are the proof. When I thought about how I'd use my 2 minutes today, I thought it'd be good to focus on something that captured the essence of the last 3 years that you've been here with us. And the first thing that came to mind was transitions. The transitions for all of us have been both sad and happy, small as well as life-changing. They've included things like births, deaths, marriages, separations, job changes, financial ups and downs. As you quickly figured out, life doesn't stop when you enter a doctoral program, but you persevered. At times, it probably felt from your side like you were taking a drink of water from a fire hydrant. There's another set of transitions that are important to acknowledge as well that I think probably capture the spirit a little bit better. If you think back 3 years ago, you were applicants to the program. Then you were doctoral students. Then you were doctoral candidates. Today you're graduates. More importantly, today you're colleagues. And the last thing that you're going to become are teachers to us who've been teaching you. I include the last thing because, like all the faculty, I learn a lot from my students, not just after you graduate, when you get here, during the time that you're here. It's an important part of my own education before and after your degree is finished. By now, I think you probably have realized that the A and the A- don't matter very much. It's what you do with your degree that's important. I'm confident you have the best preparation you can have for the next phase of your life. We challenged you, we stretched you, at times almost to the point where the rubber band was ready to break, and had no more stretch. We expected a lot from you, and you met the bar. So we hope that you take what you learned and do something important, and congratulations to you and your families. Fight on.
Thank you, Dr. Rueda. There are two groups here today whose influence on and contributions to your success are indisputable. First, of course, are the faculty of the Rossier School of Education. Will all members of the faculty please rise? Yes. Today is also about those who have supported and encouraged you in every phase of your study. And although Dr. Brewer already acknowledged you, we're going to acknowledge all of you out there again. Graduates, stand, turn, and face, and applaud the people who are here to support you. Great. Thank you. Now, as you're also aware, no program runs on its own with just faculty and students. So will the staff of the School of Education stand or wave if they're standing and be acknowledged by all of us? Congratulations once again to all of our candidates, and thank you to our guests for joining us today. I'm going to ask you to please remain seated until our candidates have exited, and then I welcome you all to a reception over here, over behind us. Am I right? Yes, over here, in honor of your great accomplishment. Members of the class of 2011, I salute you. Are we ready? There we go.